Hey guys, and welcome to SimplyDARK Season 2, Episode 7. As you guys may know, Halloween is just around the corner, so I decided that for the next couple of episodes, I would do something Halloween related. So in today's episode, we are going to start by covering a case of a 21-year-old girl that went missing on Halloween and was never found till this day. And this girl I'm talking about is Hyun Jong Song, and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Korean is a very hard language. But she was also known as Cindy, as most of her family and friends called her that. So that will be the name I will use to refer to her in this episode because it's a lot easier to pronounce. And Cindy, like her original name suggests, was born and raised in South Korea, more precisely Seoul. But in 1995, she moved to the United States to live with her aunt and uncle. On October 21st, 2001, Cindy was a senior at the Pennsylvania State College, and like most people of her age, decided to attend a Halloween party at the Players Night Club. According to her friends, they left the club at around 2 a.m. and went to a friend's apartment to play some games. At around 4 a.m. in the morning of November 1st, 2001, Cindy decided that she had enough, she was tired, and she wanted to go home. So her friends very kindly took Cindy home. But the thing is, her friends dropped her off but didn't actually stayed until she went into the apartment. So they didn't actually check if she went in or not, they just left. Now bear in mind that according to her friends, she wasn't very drunk once she left the friend's house. She was okay, so the friends didn't feel the need of just staying there and waiting to see if she got into the apartment or not. And during college, things can get quite busy, so it wasn't that uncommon for her friends not to talk to her for a couple of days. Now, once she was reported missing on November 4th, the police immediately went to her apartment. When they got there to investigate, they found most of Cindy's belongings in the apartment. They found her backpack that she had during the day at school, and they even found her eyelashes that she worn as a part of her costume at the party, and these indicated that Cindy had in fact entered her apartment when her friends dropped her off. And the only things missing from the apartment was actually her purse that had her wallet with her money, her ID cards, and her keys. Police also concluded that there was no evidence of someone trying to break in, and although her friend stated that she would never leave the apartment without her phone, she was also known to leave the house in the middle of night or early hours in the morning to go to a very nearby 24-hour market. So there is actually a lot of debate over whether or not she disappeared from the apartment or if she had voluntarily left her apartment. So the next step for the police was to check Cindy's bank cards statements to see if she did any purchases at this 24-hour market. But no transactions were made with her cards during that time. Investigators then decided to check the footage of the 24-hour market to see if there was any sign of Cindy in there at that time. But unfortunately, the security cameras there weren't capable of continuous recording and were not able to store all that footage as well. So by the time the police got there and asked for any possible footage, it was too late because it had already been recorded over. So this basically meant that the police was left with no crime scene, because the apartment was never broken in, no body and no evidence to work with. They then started looking for any other possibilities and began wondering if Cindy had in fact run away or even committed suicide. Maybe her state of mind wasn't the best, as she had broken up with her boyfriend just a month before she went missing. But her friends immediately intervened and said that that was not possible, as they knew her very well and she was handling the breakup really well, and she did not seem at all upset over it. At this point, Cindy's family decided that it was time for them to leave South Korea, come to the United States and try to look for their daughter themselves and try to help the police as much as they could. The Pennsylvania State College was very supportive of the family, and they actually offered Cindy's family an on-campus apartment and internet access for free while they stayed looking for their daughter. So this way they would be able to stay comfortably and not have to worry about things like house and food. However, without even realizing, they did a big mistake. They ended up destroying any potential evidence from the crime scene, as they decided to clean her apartment. And I know this sounds insane, but please bear in mind that her apartment was never considered by the police a crime scene. There was never evidence of a struggle or breaking in. Her family was able to come and go as they pleased and were never told what they could do or not do in that apartment. So any potential evidence that could still be there was now gone for good. But then, when everything seemed lost, an eyewitness came forward claiming that she had seen Cindy with a man in a car in Philadelphia's Chinatown district. According to this woman, Cindy was calling out for help, and when this woman approached the car to talk with her, the man told her to go away. Obviously, knowing this, police very quickly tried to find the man that this woman described, but were never able to find him. And as the woman's story kept changing multiple times, they eventually dropped the lead as it appeared not to be genuine. Now, the biggest lead in Cindy's case came when an informant by the name Paul Wickley came forward with information about Hugo Zelensky. Zelensky has a long history of crime, and when police searched his house, they found 5 bodies burned and buried in his backyard. And just a side note, don't quote me on the 5 bodies thing, because from the research I made, it wasn't quite clear how many bodies were there, but I do know that it was at least 5, and obviously that made police arrest him straight away so they could question him. Now, after a while, he eventually ended up confessing to the murder of Cindy, and he said that he had the help of his partner in crime, Michael Kirkowski. He said that they had seen Cindy walking on the street at those early hours in the morning, and they mistook her for a sex worker and decided to kidnap her. He said that they kept her in a walk-in safe in his home until she died, and then they got rid of her body in Luzerne County. And as if this wasn't enough, Zelensky also confessed to have murdered his partner in crime, Kirkowski, whose body was in fact found burned and buried in his backyard. And he said that he killed his partner in crime because he had kept Cindy's bunny ears as a souvenir of their crime. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but when Cindy went to the Halloween party, she went dressed up as a pink bunny, and apparently Zelensky was very, very mad at his partner because he didn't want anything connecting him to this crime, and his partner took the bunny ears, which made him really, really mad, and he killed him because of that. Now, the problem here is that there is no evidence to suggest that Zelensky actually murdered Cindy, as Cindy's remains were never found buried in his backyard. And although he told the police all this story of burying the body at Luzerne County, he never actually said where, and police were never able to find her body there, so there is not concrete evidence of what he's saying is true. Hugo Zelensky is currently in jail for all the crimes he committed before Cindy went missing, but because there is no way of proving if he indeed killed Cindy or not, police couldn't take action against him, and he was never trialed for Cindy's murder. Now, Cindy's case is still open and Zelensky is still a person of interest, but this is all he is in this case as for now. So what do you guys think? Do you think Cindy ran away? Was she abducted? And is she still alive somewhere out there, or was she actually murdered? Like, I have so many questions. Please let me know, guys, what you think happened to her in the comments below. I always love to read your comments. Unfortunately, there isn't any real evidence to go on in this case, and it seems like Cindy may never be found. However, we have to keep our eyes open. So if you have any possible information on this case, please contact one of the numbers that I will leave here and the description box below. I'm pretty sure Cindy's family would very, very much appreciate your help. Now, this is it for me today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If yes, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps my episodes get out there. Also, don't forget to subscribe and join the family so you can receive my episodes as soon as I upload them. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next episode.